For our secondary weapons rankings, we are not considering the primary weapons at all. These are only these three guns being pitted against each other in these metrics. So if you're wondering where these would have landed on the primary weapons rankings, only the heavy bolt pistol, which is our A tier pistol, would have made the list. It probably would have hit like C tier on the primary weapons, and that is only because it did beat out the Oculus bolt carbine, and it was about on par with the standard bolt carbine, if not just a tad better. Not the marksman or the bolt carbine marksman. Don't get those confused. The standard version of it, it was about on par, if not a little better than that. So if you're beating out primary weapons, you deserve to, at least make the list. So I probably would have given it a C tier for the primaries. And then what we got going on here is we have the heavy bolt pistol as an A tier weapon. I didn't feel like I can quite give it S tier because it just didn't feel like it was crazy good, but it is a lot better than the other two options. I just think it gets a lot of hate because I think for some reason, it gets considered as a primary gun, and that's kind of how people are like stacking it up. But when it's not stacked up against primary weapons, I mean, this thing is very, very strong, and I think if other classes had access to it, they would run this over every other option in the game, and it would make them probably god level characters. So that's why they don't have this gun to begin with. Even the heavy, it has heavy in the name, and they still didn't give the heavy class this gun because I really think the heavy would have been ridiculous if he had this heavy bolt pistol. So a very strong gun, gets a lot of hate, but I'm telling you guys, it is a lot stronger than people give it credit for. For our B tier option, we have the plasma pistol, and then C tier we have the bolt pistol. Now personally, this is how it's landing with these overall rankings. Now, if I'm making my own personal tier list, I'm probably putting the bolt pistol in B tier, and I'm putting it above the plasma pistol in most scenarios. So the plasma pistol, the character I find it the most effective on is the bulwark. So if I'm the bulwark, I am always taking that plasma pistol because I am lacking that ranged heavy damage that I need for majors or bosses. It just falls off a lot against minors, but you don't need it against minors when you are the bulwark. You don't need to take out range minors or nothing like that. You can block everything. So that's why I think this gun is possibly on the bulwark. You might be able to consider this almost an A tier gun because it is very, very important for that class to have this weapon. So, but if all three of these weapons were available on every single character in the game, the way I would pick it is I would go heavy bolt pistol, and then I would pick the bolt pistol, and then my last choice would be the plasma pistol unless I was the bulwark. So that's, like I said, that's just a personal thing. But overall, how the tiers really should look, I think this is correct. I think the heavy bolt pistol is an A tier, and I think it is a high A tier. Like, this thing is teetering on S tier. Like I said, this gun gets any kind of buff, that's kind of why I didn't really want to put it in S tier yet. If this, because I kind of got a feeling they might buff this gun. If this gun gets even, I would say between 10 and 15% buff on this heavy bolt pistol, that is going to move up to an S tier in the secondary weapons rankings for sure. So I'm gonna redo these. I'm not gonna redo these weapons rankings unless they get buffs, but I will add in the Volkite when that weapon comes out, and this is gonna give us a real nice just idea of where that weapon sits when it comes out, and we can kind of all judge about how strong it is between these three weapons. That's why I really wanted to get this out before the Volkite, and I do have a feeling maybe the Volkite might be dropping this weekend. If not this weekend, I'm assuming next weekend for sure. So very excited for that weapon. It looked very cool for the very short 5-second clip I seen of it, but looked like a lot of fun. So that's my idea really where the secondary weapons are sitting right now. I think all of them are in a pretty good place, but I do think they are going to end up buffing some of these weapons with the patch. I don't know if the plasma will get any buffs, but well, I guess we'll see. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. Check out my primary weapons rankings if you're interested in those, and I will catch you on the next one.